Hi everyone! Welcome back to Duffy's Box. Today we're diving into the last episode of House of the Dragon, titled The Queen Who Ever Was. With Season 2 wrapped up, we're facing a long wait of about 2 years for Season 3, so let's get right into it. We kick off with Tywin Lannister forging an alliance with the Triarchy on behalf of the Crown. The Triarchy's demands are clear. They want the Stepstones for strategic and economic control. This would let them dominate the narrow sea's maritime routes, impose tariffs, and boost their wealth. Tywin agrees, though he's worried about the Prince Regent's reaction. The Triarchy also demands that their admiral, Sheriko Lohar, needs to be with them and command the fleet. Tywin and Lohar solidify their alliance after a mud bath and a celebratory dinner, preparing to break the Black's blockade of the Gullet. After Aemond's spectacularly cowardly escape, as seen in the previous episode, he decides to channel his inner pyromaniac, driven by a burning desire for vengeance and the need to flaunt his dominance. He rides his dragon Vhagar to torch Sharp Point, creating a masterpiece of destruction and adding to the list of civilian casualties. When Aemond returns to the Red Keep, he confronts Helaena with all the subtlety of a sledgehammer. He emphasizes how crucial it is to have more dragons and riders trying to guilt-trip her into joining his cause. Helaena, however, is hesitant. Known for her gentle and contemplative nature, she is deeply troubled by the violence and destruction that the war has already caused. Alicent steps in to save her, banning Aemond from corrupting her further. The scene is dripping with tension as Aemond's frustration boils over, revealing just how much he's feeling the pressure to secure every advantage. Everyone knows that Aemond is missing a few screws. That's why Ser Larys speaks to the usurper, advising him to leave King's Landing. He tells him everything Aemond did at Sharp Point and warns him that if he doesn't escape, Aemond might finally kill him, especially now that he's in a fit of rage, knowing that Rhaenyra now possesses 3 more dragons. The Clubfoot recommends that Aegon return once Rhaenyra and Aemond have finished their battle in the war. Aegon, however, resists the idea and starts sharing unnecessary details, like how his genitalia ended up worse than a sausage forgotten on the barbecue. In the end, he seems to begrudgingly accept the idea, though he appears excited about being remembered as Aegon the One Without a Penis, Aegon the Roasted, or Aegon the Melted. The truth is that these weren't the names, but they seemed more accurate. Sounds truly unforgettable, doesn't it? We see our queen talking with her Hand of the Queen. Just kidding. I meant the actual Hand of the Queen. They talked about what needs to be done to prevent the Greens from continuing to gain power. Corlys recommends attacking as soon as possible and reminds her that although Daeron's dragon is small, he still has one, just like Helaena, who, while somewhat useless, can still be compelled to fight. Also, Lord Corlys informs the Queen that he would join the blockade with his ship, which is no longer called the Sea Snake. Now it is the Queen Who Never Was. 3 seconds of silence, please. Let's continue. Daemon is seen organizing troops and coordinating with key allies to strengthen his position at Harrenhal. Sir Traitor Alfred, who finally arrive. Yes, Rhaenyra's messenger who went for one thing and ended up doing another. He tells Daemon that what they need is a king, and if he proclaims himself that his lords would follow him. And what about Simon? This guy really loves gossip. But let's talk about revelations. While Simon sends a raven to Rhaenyra, that night in Harrenhal, Black Aly leads Daemon to the tree, where, upon touching it, he receives several revelations about the future. It starts with the Blood Raven, an ancient being with the power to see the past, present, and future, and who guides Bran Stark in Game of Thrones. The vision continues with the White Walkers, supernatural creatures from beyond the wall, aiming to exterminate humanity and blanket the world in eternal winter. Dead dragons, referring to their deaths during the Dance of the Dragons. According to the book, approximately 7 dragons die. Next, there's a scene of Daemon sinking into the water, hinting at his future death in the Eye of the Gods. His body was never recovered, and it is believed he either sank or went to live with nettles. Then the comet, which ties into the prophecy of the prince that was promised. And the most exciting, the dragon eggs referencing Daenerys Targaryen with her 3 dragons. Finally, we see Rhaenyra on the throne. According to the book, Rhaenyra took the capital and occupied the throne for about half a year. It was said the throne rejected her, causing her to suffer cuts on her body. At the end of this vision, Helaena basically tells him, "Fulfill your purpose and move." Interestingly, After this scene, we see Helaena on her balcony saying those same last words Daemon heard. We already knew about her visions, but not that she could connect with the others. Helaena takes the opportunity since her brother, the so understanding one-eyed man, decides to persuade her once more. So she told him of his death, also in the eye of the gods and Aegon's future on the throne once again. Back in Dragonstone, Prince Jace is losing his mind over the new riders, especially Ulf, who has as much manners as I have Targaryen blood. None. At least Baela calms the prince down. She basically tells him, "Relax, stop whining. Everyone knows you're a bastard, but guess what? You're still the crown's prince and a Targaryen. Let's have dinner." At the table, we see all these Targaryens dining and planning the attack, which must be imminent if they want to end the war as soon as possible. Clearly, Ulf is disliked by everyone. Suddenly, Rhaenyra is informed that a message has arrived from Harrenhal. Of course, Simon has already sent the gossip to the queen, so she goes to handle the matter immediately, accompanied by Adam. What I wonder is, how many times did Sir Simon Strong go up and down that hill? When Rhaenyra and Daemon meet, what we already knew from the spoilers happens. He bends the knee, along with his entire army. That revelation truly inspired our king consort. It was romantic. Meanwhile, Lord Corlys has a tense conversation with Alan. He tells Alan that he's trying to help him, but his bastard will not receive charity from him. Lord Corlys tries to dismiss him to avoid further tension. However, hearing Corlys say he's trying to help really pisses Alan off. He was genuinely offended, and honestly, who wouldn't be? Corlys knew about Alan and Adam's struggles, yet he left them in need. Now that he doesn't have any heir or wife, he wants to be there for Alan. I mean, really? Finally, after boring us throughout the episode, Rhaena finds Sheepstealer. This suggests that the chance of seeing Nettles will be almost null if Rhaena claims this wild dragon. Did you know what dragon she rode according to the book? Rhaena stayed in the Vale with Lady Jane Eyre, where her dragon egg hatched into a light pink dragon with black horns and crest, which she named Morning. At the end of the episode, the Queen receives an unexpected visit. Alicent has infiltrated Dragonstone in search of a solution to end the war she herself caused. She is terrified by what is coming, and knowing the monster her son has become, offers to return what was taken from Rhaenyra, the Iron Throne, while pleading for mercy for her own people. Rhaenyra, however, is not in the mood for negotiation. "A son for a son," she said. Alicent, after her dramatic plea for freedom and probably a few extra tears, accepts this and returns to King's Landing, where Rhaenyra will arrive in 3 days. And for us, it will be 2 years. At the end, we see the different factions heading to war, the new riders with their armor, and Daemon preparing his army. Alicent on her way to King's Landing to discover that Aegon has left. The Hightowers marching with Daeron. The Starks crossing the Twins and the Lannisters approaching Harrenhal. Rhaena, but I already talked about this. The Triarchy and the Velaryion fleet heading to the bloodiest battle. Otto? Well, he was off filming another movie. And I'm sorry, Sir Crispin, I didn't have time to talk about you. That's all I have for you today. Although we'll have to wait about 2 years for the next season, the good news is that we'll have a Knight of the Seven Kingdoms to keep us entertained in the meantime. This is Duffy's Box. Remember to like and subscribe. Now that the season is over, I'll have more time to dive into other topics. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if not, feel free to leave a comment and we'll have a chat. Until next time.